What if I told you the more someone ignores you, the more your brain can start craving them? Not because they're special, not because they're your soulmate, but because your mind has quietly turned their silence into a psychological reward. You check your phone, no reply, you tell yourself you don't care, but you do, and somehow you want them more. Why? Tonight, we're diving into the uncomfortable truth about why you chase people who ignore you, and the answer might completely change how you see attraction. And here's the twist, it's not about them, it's about something much deeper happening inside you. Picture this. You meet someone, they're charming, slightly mysterious, hard to read. At first they show interest, then suddenly they pull back. Hours turn into days, messages get shorter, energy shifts, and instead of losing interest, your obsession grows. You replay conversations, you stalk their last scene, you analyze their tone, you tell yourself, if I just try a little harder. Sound familiar? Be honest, have you ever wanted someone more after they started ignoring you? If yes, comment I've been there, because this isn't a weakness. It's psychology, and the first layer of this psychology is something called intermittent reinforcement, a concept discovered in behavioral psychology and made famous by researcher B.F. Skinner. In the 1950s, Skinner found that rewards given unpredictably create the strongest behavioral addictions, stronger than consistent rewards. It's why slot machines are addictive. You don't win every time, you win randomly. And that unpredictability, it hijacks your dopamine system. Now think about the person who ignores you. They don't give you attention consistently. They give it randomly. One day warm, next day cold. Then suddenly affectionate again. Your brain lights up. But that's only the surface. Let's go deeper. Dopamine is often misunderstood as the pleasure chemical. It's not. It's the anticipation chemical. Research in neuroscience shows dopamine spikes more during the anticipation of a reward than during the reward itself. So when someone ignores you, your brain doesn't shut down attraction. It intensifies anticipation. You're not chasing the person, you're chasing the possibility. That maybe they still like me, maybe they're just busy, maybe I can win them back. And every small sign of attention becomes a jackpot. Your brain says, keep going, try again, it might work this time. But here's the disturbing part, the less secure you feel internally, the more powerful this effect becomes. In 2010, the book Attached popularized attachment theory for modern relationships. Attachment theory originally came from psychologist John Bowlby. It suggests that the way we bond with caregivers shapes how we bond in adulthood. If love felt inconsistent growing up, sometimes warm, sometimes distant, your nervous system may associate inconsistency with intimacy. Read that again. Inconsistency can feel like chemistry. If you have an anxious attachment style, distance doesn't make you detach. It activates you. Silence feels like danger. Distance feels like abandonment. And your nervous system goes into survival mode. Text again, call again. Prove yourself. You're not chasing them, you're trying to calm your nervous system. Have you ever noticed you feel more intense attraction toward emotionally unavailable people? Comment anxious if that hits. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Sometimes we don't chase people who ignore us because we like them. We chase them because we're trying to win something we never fully received. There's another layer. Rejection bruises the ego. Psychological research has shown that social rejection activates the same brain regions as physical pain. Your brain doesn't process being ignored as neutral. It processes it as a threat, and the ego hates unfinished stories. If someone fully rejects you, it hurts, but it's clear. But when someone half rejects you, when they leave you in limbo, your brain needs closure, and chasing becomes an attempt to restore control. If I can make them want me, I win. It becomes less about love and more about validation. But here where it gets darker. The more someone withdraws, the more your brain idealizes them. Scarcity increases perceived value. This is a well-documented cognitive bias. When access is limited, desire increases. It's basic human psychology, but that's only half the truth. Because beneath dopamine, beneath attachment, beneath ego, there's something deeper. Your brain prefers familiar pain over unfamiliar peace. Let that sink in. If chaos feels familiar, calm can feel boring. If you grew up earning love, you might feel uncomfortable receiving it freely. So when someone ignores you, it feels normal. When someone chooses you easily, it feels suspicious. Why are they so available? Where's the challenge? Where's the spark? But the spark might actually be anxiety. Psychologists sometimes call this trauma bonding, a dynamic where emotional highs and lows intensify attachment. It's not always dramatic abuse. Sometimes it's a subtle inconsistency. Hot-cold silence attention, and your nervous system gets addicted to the cycle. Now here's the big open loop we started with. Why does ignoring you sometimes increase attraction instead of killing it? Because your brain confuses unpredictability with value, and effort with worth. If you work hard for it, it must be valuable. But that belief, it's not love, it's conditioning. Here's the shift. Secure love feels calm. It doesn't spike your cortisol. It doesn't make you overanalyze. It doesn't leave you guessing. And if that feels boring to you, that's not proof it's wrong. It's proof your nervous system is used to chaos. The moment you stop chasing people who ignore you, something strange happens. You feel withdrawal, not heartbreak, withdrawal, because you're breaking a dopamine loop. And like any loop, it takes awareness to break it. Ask yourself, do I want this person, or do I want the validation of being chosen? Type in the comments what you think. Are you chasing connection or chasing closure? Self-awareness is the beginning of freedom. Remember the question at the beginning. Why does ignoring make you crave someone more? Here's the full answer. Because your brain evolved to seek resolution, predictability, and belonging. When someone withdraws unpredictably, your reward system activates. Your attachment system activates. Your ego activates. It feels like love, but it's often fear of loss. The person who ignores you isn't powerful. Your unexamined patterns are. And once you see the pattern, it loses control. Here's the twist. The person who ignores you isn't the one you're chasing. You're chasing a feeling of being enough, of being chosen, of being secure. But that feeling was never in their hands. It was always yours to build. The moment you stop trying to convince someone to see your value, you start seeing it yourself. And that changes everything. If this made you reflect like this video, subscribe for deeper psychological insights like this, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss the next deep dive. Now I'll leave you with this. If someone truly saw your worth, would you still be chasing, or would you finally feel at peace?